Today's Wednesday, February the 13th, and we're going to look at the same 6 charts, but on the 5-minute basis, and then a review at the end on the daily basis just to see what the near-term trends are. And we see that the S&P 500 for the day, let's get the whole day in there. Here we go. So the whole day, it started out never really exceeding its opening 15-minute high. So in the first 10 minutes, it set its 15-minute high, and it just poked above that, and never challenged it until the end of the day when it hit Woody's pivot R2 and then dropped. But you can see where it did get support on the 5-minute cloud. Apple had an interesting day. Started off looking positive, but its high was in the first 15 minutes. So after the big guys came in with their mutual fund investments from the night before, they were the only buyers in the day, and the sellers swept in. You can see that towards the afternoon we had constant rejection by the 5-minute cloud, and then we had this big drop down to Woody's pivot support 1. T had overall started off pretty badly and then came back and exceeded its first 5-minute high and finished off just getting rejection at Woody's pivot. But what we see is a bounce coming in over the 5-minute cloud, and I expect we're going to come down and test this tomorrow morning, but then possibly get a support in the 5-minute cloud and move up. Caterpillar, same thing. In the first 5 minutes, it saw its high and never recovered again. So it's just like Apple. All the buyers came in the first 5 minutes, and then they were gone. Ended the day struggling with the 5-minute cloud. Let's look at the 15-minute cloud. Ended the day with support on the 15-minute cloud. Let's go back to 5 minutes for Intel. I actually did buy some Intel today, as I said I would yesterday. But then when we had this sharp drop in the S&P, I wasn't watching the news, so I didn't know what had happened, so I just got out of the shares, and I ended up losing just the money that it cost me to make the trade, so $10 for both ends of the trade. I'll probably get back in tomorrow because I see that at the end of the day we had 5-minute cloud support. We still may go down, and off a bounce off the 15-minute cloud, I would be a buyer again of Intel tomorrow. WDC, actually this is today right here. So again, all the buyers came in the first 5 minutes and then disappeared, finished the day with support on the 15-minute cloud. So if we now look at the 1-day charts, let's expand them a little bit, just run quickly through the 1-day. We see the S&P is still struggling here's the 1-week cloud. The S&P is still struggling with its high on the 1-week cloud, which still shows the cloud going in an upwards direction, but resistance is going to come when the Chiku span hits this wall of candles. So it could come in around 2850. So there's the chance that we see 2850, but remember we've been talking about this flat cloud, which sort of had an attraction here, and now it's broken over that high. So I think this flat 5-minute cloud has done all the 1-day cloud has done all the attracting it's going to do. Frankly, I see the S&P going up, and here's the resistance, 2774. The Chiku span hitting the top of the daily cloud will happen before the Chiku span hits candle resistance. So the first resistance for the S&P is going to be 2774. The daily for Apple's still meandering around in the cloud, so nothing to buy or sell here, in my opinion. Next chart, Caterpillar, sorry, T. Let's skip T, because T is still, just moving around inside the cloud, getting resistance in here. Let's just see when it breaks. When it does break, we're going to look back on the Chiku span and see the Chiku span right here finished right in here somewhere. So it's still messy. T is going to just drift. It's only worth holding on to now for the dividend, but it's sort of dead money. and I'll probably do something and get rid of my holdings and just do something else. Caterpillar is still on its way to completing this Gartley, which had a nice 61.8 rise here to the X2A distance. And then it pulled back to the 88.6, which is true Gartley pattern, and now should find its way up to 127 of BC or 78.6 of XA, which are the same value. I mean, that's why you call them patterns, because there's just too many similarities and coincidences to avoid calling them anything. Now the price is coming up to the 200. The Chiku span is coming up to look at support on these candles and then resistance at the clouds. And notice that the 200 is also the top of the cloud. So that is going to be an attraction for Caterpillar. It'll bounce around in the 200, so I think it'll go to 134.81. Have trouble there. The Chiku span will work its way through here. The big resistance is going to be when the Chiku span needs to break the flat cloud and the 200. Once that happens, watch out. Caterpillar will quickly make its way up to this gap, and then the next stop will be 150. Caterpillar is a nice stock to be owning. Intel, I said that I was in and out of Intel. Didn't lose anything by getting in and out. I'll look at the 5-minute chart tomorrow, and I'll probably take a quarter position again. WDC finally got into the gap after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of not being able to enter this October earnings gap. It's finally into the gap. So let's see what happens. But the Chiku span is actually into the cloud now too. So the Chiku span got stopped once, support, resistance twice, resistance 3 times. And now we've broken out. So look for WDC to next try to target $50.84 when the Chiku span goes up to hit the top of the cloud. So that's what I'm looking for.